Was good, cause welcome back to the channel, and today I'm bringing you guys another NFL video. Today we are going to be discussing my top 5 teams in the NFL going into next season. If you guys are excited for the video, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. If you guys would like me to make an AFC version of this video and an NFC version, a top 5 for each conference, we could do that as well. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys would like to see that video. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and let's get it.
Minika, watch me on Twitch, ooh, I'm streaming. I'm on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, red button beaming. Let's get that sub count, take over YouTube, ooh, we teaming. My content so hot, ooh, yeah, I'm steaming. Ooh, yeah, I'm steaming, red button beaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and like I said in the intro, today we'll be discussing my top 5 teams in the NFL going into next year, the 2021-2022 season. Who will be those Super Bowl contenders competing for a championship in both the AFC and NFC? Again, these are just my opinion, like the prediction videos, so if you don't see a team that you think should be on here, it's completely okay. Let me know in the comments down below who should be on this list and maybe who should be off of this list. Leave your comments down below. It's completely okay to disagree with me. Again, these are just my opinions, but we're going to get into it. And before we get into our top 5, I am going to name one honorable mention here from the AFC and the NFC before we get started. Okay, let's start things off with my honorable mention from the NFC side, and that is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seattle Seahawks will be just outside the top 5 teams next year. Their defense could be really good next year if Jamal Adams plays at his absolute peak, if he's healthier next year, if they mesh a little bit better. Bobby Wagner is getting up there a little bit in age. They need to get a little more of a pass rush if they want to compete in that toughest division in football, NFC West, with the Rams, Cardinals, and the 49ers. That is going to be a really tough division. That is why I classify them just outside of the top 5, as well as they need to protect Russell Wilson a little bit better. They started off hot last year. The offense was cooking. Russell Wilson was dealing the entire first half of the year, and then suddenly halfway throughout the rest of the year, they just didn't do good the rest of the year. Russ could not cook. They couldn't run the ball too well, and they just didn't play well. When it came to the playoffs, they got knocked down the first round by the Los Angeles Rams. So that is why I have the Seattle Seahawks as an honorable mention and not in the top 5. Now in the AFC, my honorable mention could be a little controversial for you guys. It is not going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not going to be the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be that other team in the AFC North that played well at the end of the season, won a playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's going to be the Baker Mayfield-led Cleveland Browns. They played really well at the end of the season. Like I said, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. OBJ will be back coming off that torn ACL. They went in free agency and, bulked up that secondary just a little bit. That's kind of where their weakness was last year in the secondary. Now Myles Garrett can get to the quarterback. He has some backup behind him in the cornerback position, the safety position. That is where they needed to address in free agency, but now they did it. And I think they're going to be a really good team. And obviously their offense is high powered. Like I said, OBJ will be back. You got Jarvis Landry still. You have that running back duo in Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. They're not going anywhere, and Baker Mayfield is playing really well with that excellent offensive line in front of him, if not the best offensive line, probably a top 3 O-line in the league. So I have the Cleveland Browns just outside the top 5. I really like how they played at the end of the year last year, so I have them as an honorable mention from the AFC. All right, now that we got our honorable mentions out of the way, it is now time for our top 5 teams going into next season. Now, this is before the draft happens, after free agency is probably done with. The biggest free agents are off the board, but you never know. Trades could go down. More people could be signed. Teams could get better in the offseason. We'll see what happens at training camp. Stuff like that. Injuries could happen. So we'll have to reevaluate these teams before the season starts once again. But this is who I like right now going into the season. Okay, so we're going to start things off with number 5, and it's going to be, in my opinion, the second best team in the AFC conference, the Buffalo Bills, who made it to the AFC Championship game before losing to Kansas City in a bit of a blowout last year, but I do think they are the second best team in the AFC. I think they're better than the Ravens, think they're better than the Browns, better than the Steelers, better than the Titans, better than the Colts. I think they have the second best squad in that conference, so I expect to see them in the AFC Championship game again next year. If Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs could take another step forward, maybe they can beat Kansas City. They just could not stop them on defense last year, and what they really need to work on is their run game. They went out and signed Matt Breida. What is he really going to bring to the table? Now you have Zach Moss, Singletary, Matt Breida. None of these guys could really run the ball very consistently and very well last year. That is something they need to do. Josh Allen cannot throw the ball every play. Diggs cannot catch the ball every play. You guys need to get a run game going. If you're able to get a run game going, you get more play action passes down the field, and it'll help Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs lift the load a little bit. You guys need to get a run game going. You did go out and sign Emmanuel Sanders in free agency to get that wide receiver depth a little bit better. But again, you need to run the ball better. If you want to compete with Kansas City, you want to keep the game low scoring, you want to run out the clock, keep Mahomes off the field as much as possible, and you guys were not able to do that in the AFC Championship game. You need to work on the run game. The offensive line needs to get some better run blocking for your squad. We'll see what you guys do in the draft, but right now I have you at the number 5 spot in best teams of next year, second in the AFC. At number 4, it is going to be a team you guys did see on the thumbnail. You maybe thought this team is probably the 3rd or 2nd best team in the league next year, but no, I have the Green Bay Packers at number 4, probably falling down the power rankings. Maybe some people have them at 2 or 3. I am sliding them a little bit lower. I'm higher on another team we're going to get to next. That wasn't in the thumbnail, but I have the Packers at number 4. Reason being, they could just not finish in the big games, in the big moments. They cannot win these games. They are 1-4 in NFC Championship games with Aaron Rodgers, 0-4 since winning the Super Bowl back in 2010. They cannot finish a season. They can't even make it to the Super Bowl. They choke every time they're in the NFC Championship game recently. Aaron Rodgers needs to get this win, needs to get his team back to the Super Bowl if he wants to be in the conversation for best quarterback ever. Probably won't, win that conversation, but to even be in it, he needs to get to another Super Bowl and he needs to win it. They did go ahead and sign Aaron Jones, which a lot of people thought they may lose in free agency, but they did give him his money, so they get to keep that stud running back on their squad who Aaron Rodgers likes a lot to hand the ball off to or throw it in the flat. Obviously, they have the best quarterback and wide receiver duo in the league. You got that Rodgers to Adams connection. They are just a touchdown machine there in the red zone. They have such a good connection. So they have the pieces on offense, and they have a good defensive team. You got Darnell Savage, you got Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith. You have guys that could get to the quarterback, lock down the opposing team's best receiver, and you got guys in the secondary that are fast, that could stop the deep passes of Kansas City, Tampa Bay, stuff like that. You guys just have to finish a season, make it to the Super Bowl, win an NFC Championship game. That's why I have you guys right now at number 4. Let's see if you could climb it before the beginning of the season or throughout the regular season. At number 3, it's going to be a team I don't know if you guys are expecting. I don't know how high you guys are on this team, but for some reason, I really like this squad going into next year, and this team is the Los Angeles Rams. I think this acquisition of getting Matthew Stafford from the Detroit Lions is severely underrated. People do not realize how good of a quarterback Matthew Stafford is. He did have weapons in Detroit, and obviously he never won a playoff game with them, but he never had a very good defense there in Detroit. Now he's coming to a team with a top 3 defense in the league, if not even higher than that, with the best defensive player in the entire league, Aaron Donald, now on his squad, and Jalen Ramsey, a lockdown quarterback. This defense is very, very good. And now Matthew Stafford, he's not coming to an offense with no weapons. He's got himself a Cooper Kupp, a Robert Woods, and now a deep threat in Deshaun Jackson as well. Good tight ends with Tyler Higbee. He has some offensive weapons to work with. If he cannot win playoff games with this team, then maybe it wasn't Detroit. Maybe it was just him in general, but I am very high on this team. They have a great defense and a very good offense, and I think a very good quarterback in Matthew Stafford. I have high hopes for Los Angeles Rams next year. That is why I have them at number 3. 2 teams left, so who is it going to be? Who's number 2 and who's number 1? If you guys are enjoying the video so far, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. I would greatly appreciate it. Bringing NFL, Madden content to the channel all the time, and soon to be MLB as well. So if you guys like MLB The Show content and MLB videos in general, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button as well. I'll be bringing that content to you guys soon. But number 2, number 1, who is it going to be? 2 teams left, both in the thumbnail. Is it going to be the Kansas City Chiefs or is it going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And at number 2, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I cannot put them at number 1 after getting blown out in the Super Bowl by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I really like the Kansas City Chiefs. They were my pick to win the Super Bowl last year. But after what happened to them in the Super Bowl, I know there was things with their offensive line. No Mitchell Schwartz, no Eric Fisher, but they got blown out. Patrick Mahomes could not get anything going. He tried his hardest, but they got blown out by this team. That is why I have the Chiefs at number 2. But you still have Hill, Kelsey, Mahomes, the best, I would say, offensive trio in the league. These guys can go for over 100 yards anytime, and Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball for over 400, 500 yards on any given Sunday. So you can never count this team out. They could still use some defensive help in the secondary. You do have Tyrann Mathieu back there. You do have Chris Jones and Frank Clark on the D-line, who I like, but you guys could really use some guys in the secondary. They got exposed in the Super Bowl. They need to bounce back here. They did pick up some guards, though, to help protect Patrick Mahomes after losing Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher. They signed Joe Thuney from the Patriots and Kyle Long from the Bears, so we'll see if those guys are able to protect Patrick Mahomes a little bit better. They're looking for revenge next year. I have them as the number 2 team, could climb to number 1. We'll see if they make it to the Super Bowl for that rematch with the Buccaneers, but that means number 1 is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady's back. Gronkowski is back. Chris Godwin, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, they are all coming back. They brought the whole gang back together, basically. A lot of people thought they would lose pieces in free agency, but that did not happen. They signed almost everybody back. The only guy I think that has not signed at this point is basically Antonio Brown, and will they bring him back? We will have to see, but who knows if they really even need him. Because obviously, you have Mike Evans, you have Chris Godwin, who they franchise tag, you have Scotty Miller, you have that guy Tyler Johnson, I think a young receiver there who everybody thinks is really, really good, but he doesn't get a lot of playing time because they had 3-4 great receivers already, so he didn't get a lot of playing time, so they really don't need AB back. But you have that entire defense back that destroyed the Chiefs last year. That's going to be huge in the playoffs. This team has not lost a game since their Week 12 matchup against the Chiefs. They went into the bye week and went 8-0, including the regular season and the playoffs. The GOAT is looking for his 8th ring here next year, and that is why I have the number 1 seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers in my power rankings. They're going to end my top 5 at number 1. They are the team to beat next year. We'll see what they're working with in the regular season. Can they go back-to-back? Only time will tell, but they're going to close out my top 5 teams for the NFL season for 2021-2022 at number 1. Okay, everybody, that is going to do it for today's video. Those are my top 5 teams and some honorable mentions for you guys going into the NFL season next year for the 2021-22 season. Again, these are just my opinion, so if you think a team should have been on here that wasn't, or a team should be off here that was, let me know in the comments down below. It is completely okay. I don't get everything right. These are just my opinion once again, but let's have a friendly discussion in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this list. Do you think it's accurate or not accurate? If you guys did enjoy the video though, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, follow my social medias, which are on the screen for you guys right now, including my Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, stuff like that. Play video games on my Twitch all the time, and we talk about football, other sports on my Twitter, so go follow those things. But that is going to do it for me today, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.